Sleevey GBs, I'm Kristen Tinsley, your host for the Fresh Sleeve of Bariatrics, and I am in the studio live today with a very special guest, as promised. But before I introduce our guest, I just want to let you guys know that today we're going to be talking about the differences between the surgeries that we had recently, because I had my surgery. I am almost 1 year post-op, and my guest had her surgery 3 years ago, so we're going to be talking about that. And we're just going to kind of see where she's at and, you know, kind of maybe help her along a little bit with like the tips and recipes and try to get her to open up a little bit about what's been going on so we can all share together in our experiences on this journey of weight loss. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Deneen Cedric. You are 3 years post-op, correct?
3 years in August. August 3rd was 3 years.
August 3rd, wow. So you had it in the summertime.
I did, yes, at the end of the summertime.
So you totally, and I had mine actually the week before Christmas.
Oh, that's a nice time.
And everybody, the week before Christmas and all through the house, just kidding. Everyone was like, oh, you're crazy. You should have like a last hurrah before Christmas and just, you know, you're going to miss out on all that food. And I'm like, yeah, but I've been indulging on all that food for 38 years.
Yeah,
and
so that was probably the best time.
That was the absolute best time. It absolutely was. So which procedure did you have?
I had the vertical sleeve gastrectomy, which is where they remove a portion of your stomach.
Same as me.
Yeah.
And everybody always wants to know this. What was your highest weight?
My highest weight was 279 pounds, and I'm only 5 foot tall.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm short, so it looked like 100 pounds even heavier because I'm only 5 feet, so.
Right.
Yeah, I was just under 300. That's what made me, I was like, oh, I've never, like I was always heavy, but I was never that heavy, and when I got that heavy, I dropped back down, and I always stayed around 250 for most of my life, and then, so when I had the surgery, I was less, but my highest was 279,
Yeah. And what was your...
That I can remember anyway.
That you can remember. I mean,
it could have been higher,
You just sometimes, I mean, I think there were years that I didn't go on the scale, and then I had to get a procedure done, and they were like, well, we kind of have to be cautious about putting you under, you know, obese people. I can't stand that world. Even to this day, because obese just, especially morbid obesity, that word, it affects me, because morbid means, you know, death.
And not even just that, people always assume that because you're obese or morbidly obese, that everything wrong with you is because you're obese.
Oh, everything. I would go into the doctor for a cold.
You know, you need to lose some weight.
Lose some weight.
You know,
oh, I need to get my hair colored. Well, if you lost some weight, maybe your hair would be the color. Exactly. It would just change on its own, like the horse into many colors. Yes. Isn't that wonderful? The judgment.
Everything.
Oh, the judgment. So I think my highest recorded weight was 520 pounds. And it was years later that I decided to have surgery. What was your deciding factor to get surgery? What was that thing that was just like, you know what, I'm done?
You know what, I was pretty much miserable, you know, most of my life because of my weight. Like, to people on, you know, the outside, they wouldn't know that, you know, you're happy, you have nothing going on, you got friends, you got, you know, but they don't know inside I'm not happy.
You're dying inside.
I always, you know, wanted to lose weight. I tried, and I was always one of those people. I would never have surgery. Like, well, you could just eat right, go to the gym.
Go to the gym.
It's hard.
It's hard.
It's hard. So for years, I just was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try. I tried, and it didn't work. So the year before I turned 40, I was right after my 39th birthday. I was like, no, my 38th birthday. I said, I don't want to turn 40 and be overweight anymore.
Amen, sister.
I said, I lived half my life already this way. I know what it's like. I want to be, you know, I want to lose weight. I don't want to be happy anymore. It had nothing to do with anything else. I just didn't want to be fat anymore.
It was the mantra in my head. Yeah. It was, you just get to that point. I don't think I actually made the decision to get surgery until they were knocking me out on the table.
Yeah.
Because it was such a mental battle to get there. To actually, I mean, I had to go through 6 months of, first of all, I was going to school to be a holistic nutritionist, by the way. During this whole process, I said, you know what? I love nutrition. I love holistic. That's the way I've always been able to take care of myself, because on top of being obese, I also had hormonal issues as well that, are just, there's a lot of things there that I had to fight. And so I knew a lot about holistic medicine and holistic nutrition, because that's just the way that I have to eat for myself. That's the way everybody should eat, but specifically for me. So I was going to school for that. I had to quit smoking cigarettes. I had to stop eating like a gavoon. I mean, it was just, it was a lot all at once, but I did it and I plowed through it like a bull. How did you get through that? All right, so you had the surgery 3 years ago. They've changed it a lot since you had it.
I don't know, because I only go back to my surgeon once a year. And it's really just a checkup, so he can make sure that I don't have any questions or concerns about the surgery.
Who did you use?
So my doctor is Dr. Klonsky out of
I know Dr. Klonsky.
Syosset.
Yeah, he actually, I was going to go with him first. It was the very first surgeon that was recommended to me by my pulmonary doctor. And he didn't take my insurance. He had just stopped taking my insurance. And then I settled on the New York Bariatric Group over here in Rosslyn Heights. I had Dr. Spencer Holliver. Thank God for him, because
Klonsky's pretty good too.
Yeah, thank
he's
God.
really good. But
Thank
that's
God.
so I only go back just after the first year you go back more frequently so he can monitor you. But now it's just once a year.
Okay.
So I don't really have to see him too much.
I'm coming up to the 1 year mark. I know that there's a lot of my other sleevey GBs out there that are coming up to the 1 year mark. What can we expect going into the doctor? What's going to happen?
So really, on your 1 year, he's going to track your weight, of course, to make sure you didn't gain anything back. He's going to ask you about like your nutrition, and he's really just going to send you for blood work to make sure you're not like malnutrition. Because although, people assume that when you lose weight or that you're put on a certain diet that your nutrition is correct. Like you can eat normal food normally throughout the day and still be malnutrition. People assume that people that are malnutrition starve or don't eat, but it's usually
it's a
the
lack
opposite.
of nutrients. and that's the case for everybody. People think that, because you're overweight, you must automatically be unhealthy. Excuse me. Let me just tell you that because of the way I eat, because of the way I follow the holistic diet, and just using different food combinations as medicine, I was never, without nutrition. If you know how to do that properly, you're going to be okay. So, the whole idea of taking supplements was something that was really new to me, and I'm looking at the ingredients in some of these supplements, and I'm like, I am not eating this because it has sucralose in it. Just even the 2-week liquid diet leading up to surgery, when people would post pictures on the group pages, and I would be like, okay, sugar-free Jell-O, no.
Why are you eating that?
Premier shakes, no.
But
like
that's
this
what they
is
give
just.
you. That's what they give you a list of. So, and the funny thing is, you're saying the nutritionist. You have to go see a nutritionist. Like during the process, it's a 6-month process. Now, mind you, it's not like you're going for reoccurring visits. You go visit with the nutritionist. She explains to you, what you're going to be eating for the next, month or so. So you would think that you're getting the proper information from the nutritionist.
You're not.
But you're right. The sugar-free Jell-O, the premier proteins,
eat
all
cheese,
that.
all that stuff. They had the after surgery. Were you on a liquid diet
I
or?
Was,
no. They started us off on food right away.
Oh no.
No. We had food.
2 weeks before liquid, 2 weeks after liquid, then another 2 weeks of not necessarily soft food, but like almost kind of blended,
Never.
You can only eat like tuna fish or egg salad or whatever, and then softer foods after that. I did liquid for like a good month.
A lot of it. I think that, and I had read that some people had said, but I cannot have whey protein. It's just, ugh. I tried having my plant-based protein. No, I could not get it down. I was like, what did I do to myself? Why did I do this? I really thought that the way I was able to handle food after surgery was going to be forever.
Yeah, no.
So anyone out there who just had surgery, if you're struggling to
Completely
get down, right, it's not forever. Trust me, it's not forever. You will be able to eat normally again. Whereas,
Well.
how much are you? Well, okay, so let's get into that. Let's get into
Wow.
the abnormal. The abnormal.
I don't know if it's normal or not. I don't have anything to compare.
Tell
it
me,
to.
girl.
Yeah.
I want to hear it all. Tell
So-
me about it.
I'm 3 years out. I can still feel like I know. Well, I mean, you're gonna know regardless that
yeah.
you ate too much.
Yeah.
But even like normally, if I eat, so before you have surgery, they tell you, take a bite, wait 2 to 5 minutes before you take the next bite because you're not gonna have that much space of stomach. They take like 80 to 90% of your stomach off.
Okay.
So you take a bite, you wait 2 to 5 minutes, and then you take another bite. But even if you do that, like I can still feel like the food like moving up and down before it actually settles because I feel like my stomach is too small. I don't know. So I still feel it. Like sometimes for me to eat is still uncomfortable as if I had surgery,
Oh, okay. Now let me ask
months
you.
ago.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. What is the? And I feel like that's the difference between starting off the patient on food and starting off the patient on liquids. So I feel like your stomach is able to stretch a little bit more when you have food
It's
right
true.
away.
I think so.
Whereas it's liquid, it just kind of like stays that way.
Yeah. Because I
So-
find, okay, so I'm a bad bariatric patient because even before surgery, I never really ate breakfast, so it's
Right.
still hard for me now to eat breakfast. And
Okay.
that
That's the
is
problem.
probably the problem.
Yes.
Because if you don't eat, you don't open up your stomach.
Right. It stays that way. It gets used to it.
Right.
It gets stuck in a contraction.
Yep.
And especially your water intake. So what I'm going to tell you, first thing you get up in the morning,
Is drink
you
water.
drink water.
I do.
Okay? You have to water your flower pot first thing in the morning. Okay? And I know some people out there, especially for me, if I drink water, I immediately get hungry because I think that it rinses out, it flushes everything out, prepares the stomach for what it's about to receive. But I still have that, oh my God, I still have that panic. Oh my gosh, I feel hungry, I need to eat right now.
Yeah.
Although that's not the case. True hunger is that like, oh, I need to eat right now. My stomach is hurting me, I need to eat right now, I need to eat, I'm hungry. I still chase my hunger, where it's like, okay, I have to have all these snacks
Yeah.
just in case. Do you find yourself
Absolutely.
still storing food and
do.
still like just in case food, but yet we
do.
still waste a lot of food?
A lot of food.
Yes.
That honestly, that's like the one thing out of everything that bothers me is like
wasting
the
of
waste,
food. Yep.
especially like going out because you're not going to change your lifestyle. You're still going to go out with your friends. They want to go out to eat. You're going to
Yep,
go out to eat. You're not going to be
absolutely.
like, no, I'm not going out to eat because I can't eat.
Yep.
You're just going to try to pick smaller things. But at a restaurant, you can only get
So much, yeah.
the portion can only be so small.
Right.
So you're taking it home, you're eating it for, a leftover at least once.
Right.
Sometimes I'll eat it for a leftover twice and I'll still have
And you'll still
something.
have some, and then you just
And
toss
then you
it.
toss it.
Right,
It's
and you
like
toss
so
it.
much. I feel so bad.
But embrace that
I know.
and be like, you know what? I can give this back.
Yeah.
I don't need to eat this.
Yeah.
That was one of the biggest things about having surgery was the amount of food that I was capable of eating.
I know.
It scared me. To have to eat a whole cake, to have to eat an entire pizza, just to feel
Full.
not even full, but a huge part of that. And I want everyone out there to understand that hole is your emotions.
Yes, definitely.
And one of the next shows that I'm going to have coming up is about the type of foods that we eat and the way we eat them, depending on the emotion that we're trying to process, is reflective in the food that we eat. So for example, if you're upset about something, your boyfriend just broke up with you, something happened, we immediately go for cake.
Yeah.
We go for something soft.
Definitely.
Softness of the cake is the vulnerability. We go for the sweetness. We want the sweet back. We want to feel good. Okay, that could be the icing on the cake or whatever. So you're going for something like that. You're going for something that's homemade, a baked good. It's homemade. So you're looking for that comfort feeling. So right away, that's why we go for stuff like that when we're feeling that certain emotion. We're feeling anxiety or we're feeling aggressive, we would go for something more that's on the crunchy side, like Doritos or potato chips. And we would just shovel that into our mouth because you're trying to fill that hole, but trust me, when you can get to the point when you're dealing with these emotions, and it's not easy to do, you can just be like,
Yeah, like
I'm
I don't
done.
want anymore. Yeah.
right, I'm done with this. I don't need to process this
Yeah.
anymore. I get it.
It's definitely
It's over.
emotional, and I know that I'm definitely an emotional eater. So
Oh, yeah.
not even just like emotional, like if like boredom sets in, you're like, oh, I need to put something in my mouth. But emotions for sure, I'm definitely was,
Right. And what do you
still
go
am
for?
an emotional
You still do
eater
that now?
No, not because I know I can't.
Right.
So I know that if I do, like my stomach's gonna hurt, or I'll
Yeah.
feel sick, or I'll, so I don't. I just do other things. Like I got into other things since then,
Right.
to take my mind off of whatever, so I don't
Whatever
want
it
to eat.
was.
But yeah,
I
definitely
found
emotions.
when I first started doing it, I didn't realize that I was stress eating. And I'm a school bus driver in my real life. And although the kids don't stress me out because they're my children, so they don't stress me out, but driving and having to get them from point A to point B safely can be very stressful. So every day I was in the food store getting food, and I didn't realize that I was eating my emotions. I was going for the brownies, I was going for the bread, I was going for the cookies, I was going for all this stuff every single day. And I had all of this emotional stuff pent up inside of me, and then once I wasn't able to do it anymore, I couldn't sit there and eat and then just go to sleep or smoke cigarette after cigarette.
deal with
I was
it.
like, I have to deal with this. And all this stuff started coming up. And I said, you know what? This happened 15 years ago. I'm not dealing with this. I brush it off and I keep it moving.
You can't, because it comes back.
It comes back. Sometimes it does.
back.
Sometimes it comes back. But, there's other outlets. I
Right,
find
do something
writing.
else,
I
yeah.
find kickboxing
Yeah.
was my saving grace. It was my saving grace at 500 pounds. It's my saving grace now. If I really get very stressed out and just like crazy, I will go take a kickboxing class, or I'll go for a run, or I'll go for, and as horrible as that sounds, when you're really going through it, that's one thing that you can do. Another thing that I like to teach people is to just sit down and take some breathing exercises.
Yes, that's mine.
Breathing is the one thing that will always calm the mind and calm the soul, and that's the simplest, cheapest way. It calms everything down.
It does.
Because
If
that's
you
all we
sit-
have.
Absolutely.
all we
Even just
have.
like stopping and counting to 10, like very slowly, take a deep breath, blow it out, count to 10. Like you calm down because you realize you took that moment to like
Right.
stop and just
And that
stop
moment,
and think.
that moment before was the cigarette, going outside, that moment, because you're going outside, you're removing yourself from the situation, you're distracting yourself temporarily. It's the same thing from eating.
Absolutely.
You're picking what you want, you're focused on what you want. You're not focusing on the other problem, you're focusing on the plate that's in front of you, you're eating that food, you're taking away that time. So how much weight have you lost?
I have so when I started, I was 251 pounds. The day of surgery, I was 241 pounds.
Oh, so you went for it.
No, but listen. So you have 6 months, and the doctor's like, "Oh, you have to lose
Yeah.
weight before you have surgery," because they just want to make sure you can stick to a lifestyle.
Of course, yeah.
I was the worst. Like the month.
was
I
I.
had 6 months to try. So I'm like, all right, maybe next month. So the month before, I dropped 10 pounds.
Right, yeah. My doctor was like, I wish you had kind of
like, what's
lost
going
a little
on?
bit more. Because when I went in for surgery, I was 460 pounds. And then the day of surgery, I was 420.
Nice, you did.
So,
Good
yeah,
before. I only lost 10 pounds
No, I
before
did
mine.
it. And he
Yeah.
looked at me and he's like, well, I kind of wanted to get you into the threes before surgery.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dr. Holliver, just get me through this day. And I promise you, I will be out of the fours. And he said, all right, I believe you. And he's definitely right.
Yeah.
Definitely right.
Day of
He was
surgery,
right.
I was 241, and today I'm 140. So
Oh my God.
since the day of surgery, 101 pounds. Yeah.
And you have kept that off
I have.
for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
For like the first, when you lose the weight, like once you finish having surgery, you
Yeah.
just think it's gonna come like boom. I'm gonna
No, that's what I
in
thought.
6
too.
months I'm gonna be,
Yeah, no.
And it doesn't work like that. And realistically, I knew that, but at the same time, inside you're like, maybe I'm different and it'll work faster,
It'll work faster, yeah.
So I was losing like the first 3 months, maybe anywhere from like 15 to 25 pounds
A month?
A month. But just the first 3 months though, because
Yeah,
I
I
wasn't
wish.
eating. I wasn't eating. I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was uncomfortable. And so the reason I also had surgery, I had 2 friends that went. And one of my friends that went and had surgery, she told me about it. She's like, just come with me to my doctor's appointment with Dr. Klonsky. And I went, and that's what really made me, because I wasn't thinking about it until she said, but I had surgery, come with me to my follow-up. So I thought, everyone's journey is different. So with hers, she didn't have any discomfort, she didn't have problems eating, and I had all that. And it wasn't like really bad, where I had to keep going back to the doctor or anything, but it was just uncomfortable.
Yeah, it can be uncomfortable. So
I didn't want to eat.
I want to know what the texture of the food that I mean, we can definitely get into this. You can always email me, I think it's freshsleeve18@gmail.com or SleevyGBs on Facebook. You can always message me and say, hey, I think it could be the texture of the food that you're eating. It could be the food you're eating. I don't know what you're eating. But definitely I noticed that different textures of food would bother me more. Like if it's more dry and more rough.
Well, I can tell you that the food I'm not supposed to eat, like
goes down really easy. Oh yeah.
Like sweets go down no problem.
Of course they do.
And I'm sure it's the sugar, like it's probably something to do with sugar.
Well, remember, the more sugar you eat, the hungrier you will get.
That's very true.
Do not, please, trust when I say this to you, okay? Trust it. I mean, some of us can walk on the dark side and bring ourselves back from it, okay? Sugar is an addiction that is powerful as drug use. It is as powerful as nicotine. It is extremely powerful. Do not test it. You will go through a sugar detox like you've never felt before, and a carbohydrate detox, and trust me, you will come out feeling wonderful afterwards. Do not mess that up. When you're able to have your fruits and stuff like that, I've got plenty of replacements for you that you're gonna love and you're gonna enjoy. You can still have cupcakes. Your girl has all the recipes. I know how to cheat all of it. I've been doing it. I'm gonna have my own little separate. It's gonna be the Sleevy Sweeties. I will have plenty of dessert replacements that you guys can have that are not gonna bother you. It's not gonna affect your blood sugar. It's not gonna make you go crazy. I study this stuff extensively to make new stuff for you guys that we could have that's fresh and holistic and that's good for us, so we're not going back to what we had before. We do not want to go back to that, because that will make you hungrier than you've ever been, because it messes with your blood sugar way too much, and we do not want that. So what do you do for exercise?
For exercise right now, I walk a lot.
Me too.
I always walk. That's one thing. I was always a walker. Like I could walk for miles and be fine. Yeah. And I'm still that way. I'm a little scared to run because I feel like I'll keel over.
Take it easy with the running.
I don't want to
start slow.
In the street, but I'm a walker, like, for sure.
Yeah.
But about 6 months after surgery, I went to the gym. I was getting up faithfully at 4:30 every morning, going to the gym by 5 o'clock. I had a trainer. I was working out. Right.
Get it, kid.
Until I would say last year.
Yeah.
I went on vacation, came back.
That ruins everything.
I never went back to the gym.
You got to get back.
So I need to go back, but I do still walk at least 3 to 4 days a week. I do at least anywhere from 1.5 miles to 2 miles. I try on my lunch or at least one point during the day to get up and just walk. So like I still make sure that I stay active. But I do miss the gym, so I do kind of want to go back. Yeah. I mean, I never was a gym person.
Yeah.
And I still don't necessarily like the gym, but I want to work out more because I did like that, and it was good for me.
I like lifting weights to tone it up. Yeah, you have to have something. I took a job dog walking during my midday, and so now I'll do one dog up and down hills for 45 minutes. I'll do another dog for 30, and this is all back to back to back to back to back. So I'm every day, 5 days a week, plus 6 days a week actually, walking the dogs, and then I really do want to get back to kickboxing because I'm starting to notice that things are starting to sag. And my sister's like, you need to lift weights. And I'm like, but I don't want to lift weights because I don't want to put muscle on.
No, you won't though.
Yeah.
You won't.
I don't want to bulk out again.
Yeah. The only way you'll bulk out is if you keep adding weight. So if you work out
just work out, tone it up. Because I am going to actually see a plastic surgeon on the 13th to have a pandalectomy. I'm praying that I can get that done, so stay tuned because I'm definitely gonna take you guys
that's gonna be awesome.
through that journey with me on camera, hopefully. Well, I don't know about the surgery part on camera because that's a little much. Okay, that's like inviting you into my pants. That's a little much. So.
But that's awesome.
Yeah.
Surgery's
So.
a good deal. Because you do, like, that's
It's gonna
another thing
hurt.
people want to know, like, what
They do.
you know, what does it look like? And
They
do
both
you have
think,
skin?
you
get
have
stuff.
skin, you get
You
stuff.
know, when you have your clothes on, people can't
It
tell.
looks great,
so
but
you're
when you
okay
take it
when
off,
you're out in
it's
public,
like,
But when you get
yeah.
home, it's like,
Right.
oh.
It's like, yeah, why don't you have a boyfriend? It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, because I look like a
know.
melted
And I
candle.
know.
So we have about 3 minutes left. I just want to introduce these words here for you. I'm always going to try to have different words. I usually do some guided meditation and some positive affirmation to get into your brains to try to start changing some of the ways of thinking. But I thought that this would be nice today. So I want to give you this word. You are a boss.
Thank you very much. I'm a boss.
Yes, and for everyone else out there, I have the word strong. And these words mean so much to me because we are very strong to go through what we go through every single day. This is not a weekly battle. This is not a monthly battle. This is an everyday battle to stay
Literally.
on top of yourself. And I feel like one of the things that obese people have, because we'll always have that brain. It doesn't change. We're always going to have that post-traumatic stress disorder
Absolutely.
from
You're
being
always gonna-
overweight.
absolutely.
It's always going to be there. But the one thing I really want you to remember, and I want you to take this home, take care of yourself. Be your own boss.
Yeah.
Because
Which this is perfect because that's what
It's
I'm learning,
perfect
you know, and
to be your own boss.
Absolutely.
Because you
Definitely
have to
take care
be,
of myself.
Yes. Your body is your employee. You have to take care of it. You have to make time for yourself. You have to make time to meal prep. You have to make time for that water. It should just be automatic.
Yeah.
And when that's automatic, everything else in your life that's been bubbling up inside all this time, okay, is just going to be a cakewalk.
It's
I don't want to
true.
say the C word, but it'll be
Yeah.
an easy go of it because you're already taking care of it. I already have everything in place because we are what? We are strong
And we're bosses.
and we're bosses. We are our own bosses.
That's right.
So do you have any questions for me? Anything at all you would like to ask me?
I just need some of those good recipes.
Some of those good
because-
recipes, yes.
Yeah,
I have
definitely,
ways
for
of
sure.
I have ways of making, like I bought the like we waste food. I bought the
lot.
package of ham and it was just about to be expired, so I threw the entire little diced up package of ham. I took the eggs were about to be expired too. Threw all the eggs in there. I made myself a big quiche, and you'd be very surprised. It's just coconut flour with a little bit of that spray, which I know is evil, but they do have an organic one. Coat a pan, spray it, take the coconut flour, dust it on the pan, spray it again, dust it again. It makes like a nice little thin little crust that's full of fiber and full of nutrients from the coconut flour that's very good for you. So I will definitely be posting that recipe
Definitely
up
looking
on
forward.
our group page on Facebook, Sleevy GBs of Bariatrics. So we're going to wrap it up. And I really hope that you come back again, Deneen. I want to hear more about your
Anytime.
progress. I'm so happy that you've lost 100 pounds. You've kept it off for 3 years. That gives a lot of people out there hope
Yeah, you
because I
can
know
do
that's
it.
one
You
of
can
those
do it.
things.
I
You
know.
can do it. And you
That
don't
was a
need to get
concern.
re-sleeved or different type of surgery. You can do it all on your own. You can work out, you can eat healthy, and you can be strong, and you can be, a boss. All right? Thank you so much,
You're
my
welcome.
darling.
Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you.
Al.
Woohoo! I, once again, wish you a very good night. I am Kristen Tinsley, your host of the Fresh Sleeve of Bariatrics, and I will see you over on my Facebook page, Sleevy GBs. And if you would like to speak to me personally, you can Facebook at Fresh Sleeve and ask me any question you want. I am a certified holistic nutritionist that is here for you, my bariatric beauties, and my Sleevy GBs. So good night.
Yay.
Yes.